little bit there. Let's go to the game of the week as our Los Angeles Chargers head to Kansas City. And this isn't a must-win situation for the Chargers, but it feels like a must-turn-around situation. I text Mike a lot, and I don't ever really talk about it, but the one team that I will watch the All-22 of every week is the Chargers. And one of the most frustrating things that I've ever watched was the Chargers offense last week and the continued refusal to run the ball in the second half. I know the team is banged up and going through injuries. They did rally on a short week after a physical Monday Night Football game, and they were able to get the win, and that excites me to no end. But it's a lot of things are going to have to be different this week going to Kansas City than they were going to Atlanta last week. Kansas City with a couple extra days where, again, I know that people gave us the explanation, Mike, about what happened at the end of the Raiders game, but I am not a fan of two penalties were called simultaneously, a legal procedure or whatever it was, and a false start. And it's like, okay, but why does one trump the other? Why was one?
It's also BS. It's all complete BS because you can see clear as day in the footage. The ref has the whistle in his mouth, and right when the ball is snapped, even before the ball is snapped, the ref that you can see in visual image of the camera, while the fumble is attempted to be recovered, is running across the field, stopping the play. Yeah, blowing the play dead before the fumble's recovered. So to me, I don't care what was called first or what was called second. A referee blowing a play dead, even if you say it was an inverted whistle, the play does not count. This just happened with the Bengals and Raiders a couple years ago where they blew the whistle too soon and called Joe Burrow out of bounds, and he threw a touchdown pass when he was clearly inbounds, and that touchdown didn't count, but this fumble does count.
Yeah, it's frustrating. So even if you go to a situation where you're like, oh, like the clock is running and it's a foul on the offense, so it'd be an automatic 10-second runoff, and then all the Raiders will be able to do is spike the ball with loss of yards. I don't think Daniel Carlson makes the field goal, but it's just it bothers me that they don't even get a chance to kick it because the rule is for the Chiefs to just get the ball and end the game. Like, that's the part that's frustrating. I really hope that I can make it through and watch a game where even if the Chiefs beat the Chargers, it's not on some play at the end where you're like, oh, well, a pass interference. And it's like, but what about the other 15, 20 pass interferences you didn't call, but you call this one at the end of the game, or you get together and you pick up certain plays. It happened even when I was at SoFi earlier this year to watch the Chiefs beat the Chargers in that game. And so I'm going to talk about the game more than the penalties or anything else. As far as like, the Chargers in the first matchup, the game was close. I believe it was 10-10 or 10-7 in the third quarter at some point in that game. It was 10-10. Chargers had a chance to kick a field goal or go for it on like the 2-yard line. Chiefs defense makes a stand. They don't take the lead. Chiefs come back the other way, score a touchdown, win the game 17-10. In that game, no Derwin James because of the suspension in Pittsburgh. There's injuries to left tackle, right tackle. Herbert still got the ankle injury. McConkey wasn't quite on the same page, although he's battling through some injuries. So I think this is going to be a better test, a better assessment, a better challenge. And I'm really, really rooting 1,000,000% of everything in me for the Chargers to win this game. And I'm picking them to win this game. This just feels like there's something going on with the Chiefs where they just keep winning all these games. Like
it gets to a point where you start to think that it's no longer luck and that something's going on. Seriously, like I've always joked about them getting calls or this or that. This year has been atrocious to a point that I'm ready to see the freaking officiating crew completely outhauled. But the NFL would never do that. And when you go and look in history, they've almost never, ever fired an official. Are you telling me an official has never been bad enough to warrant firing in the history of the sport, or is something shady going on? Anyways, I think that the Chargers are a team that if we were at freaking full strength, we could make a statement in this game. They get so lucky, man. Like you said, the Derwin James suspension the other week on a play that was very questionable to even be a penalty to start with, right before we play the Chiefs. And now they're getting us without J.K. Dobbins, which we've seen the Chargers rushing attack is not fueled as much by the interior of our offensive line as it is as much J.K. Dobbins making someone miss in the backfield and getting some yak or yards after contact, as they say in receiver world. So I think that's a huge disadvantage for the Chargers. Our rushing attack is running straight up the middle. That's all we really can do with Gus Bus. He doesn't have the speed or agility that JK does to attack the edges. I don't think they believe in Kamani Vidal enough to give him some crazy, surprising workload this week out of the backfield. So the Chargers are probably going to be a team this week that looks a lot different than we've seen them offensively throughout the year with J.K. Dobbins on the field. And I think that may, in a way, help us a little bit. Might surprise the Chiefs. I think that we're going to throw the ball more than you want, Tony.
Yeah, I really hope not. I hope this is a classic, old-school Harbaugh. We're going to go up there and we're going to run the ball 40 times in this situation.
Depends on how we do inside, because it's just so tough with that being kind of the Chargers' offensive weakness to say, all right, now let's go and try and do it against Chris Jones. It's gonna be tough, and I think that we're gonna see kind of last year Herbert against the Chiefs, where he's the one that's supplementing the run game with screen passes and read options and pass options and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah, I think that this is if I'm looking at this Chiefs side of it, it's are they going to be able to get Isaiah Pacheco going, right? Is that feels like a real key for them to be extending drives that way, being able to keep Patrick Mahomes where he really excels in sort of those third and manageable, 3rd and 5, 3rd and 4. Is the tackle situation going to hold up for them? Are they going to be able to get DJ Humphries, I believe that's his name, on the field this week? And then what kind of situation are they working with Noah Gray and Travis Kelce with right there? DeAndre Hopkins is going to probably make a couple of plays depending on who he's got out there. The guy's a Hall of Famer. He'll get out there and make a couple of plays. You can't really do much about that. Defensively, and you talked about it, is the interior of that defensive line. Are they going to be able to find some mismatches on Trey Pipkins? Are they going to be able to get after Zion Johnson? Although he's played a lot better for them recently, it's that side of it. And then in the secondary, where the Chiefs have had injuries and had a little bit more struggle this year because the defense hasn't looked great, especially when you watch that game against Bryce Young. You're like, Bryce Young is doing this with a rookie wide receiver and a veteran and Adam Thielen. They should be able to find different ways to get receivers open and have some success passing the ball in this situation. It's going to be interesting to see how Spagnuolo plays the Chargers offense, and then how the Chargers have said, hey, we haven't been running the ball a ton. Let's give them a bunch of looks that they haven't seen in this, come out in traditional passing sets. It's and from those, we're going to run the football. It doesn't have to be smash mouth as much as it has to be let's get a few carries to Darius Davis in some different situations. Let's get a couple of these, jet sweeps to Quentin Johnston. Let's find ways to get people on the outside on some tosses, sweeps, whatever it is, and press the edge, make the corners tackle. It doesn't seem like it's going to be snow, too cold, but I'm excited for it. Bolt up. I got the Chargers winning this game 19-16. Mike, you got a score?
I'm biased. I don't have a score prediction, but I'm thinking similar score, Tony. I think it's going to be a lot like the other game score-wise, where it's coming down to the fourth quarter, mostly a defensive battle. I really love the Chargers' ability this year on defense to buckle down and strap things up in the red zone. It's been so impressive. And even if the Chiefs move the ball a little bit with Pacheco, which I think they will, we've seen our rushing defense get worked on a little bit more in recent weeks. Even if they do get some stuff to DeAndre Hopkins and Kelce as they move down the field, I have premium optimism. I have premium confidence in this defense now. When we get down to the red zone, we're stopping them to a field goal. And it's going to come down to, can the Chargers find enough offense to score 20 points, I feel like.
Yeah, that's why I have it 19-16. I think it's a low scoring game. I think that the
What's the
Chargers.
conversation though when the Chargers take them down? Like they're gonna be talking about this defense being that level, that special defense that can make a run. People are gonna be saying it.